need to know Nostradamus' prophecies. Michel de Nostradamus, or as we know him, Nostradamus, was a French apothecary who published his collections of prophecies. His collection of major predictions, the Prophecies, was first published in 1555. Nostradamus claimed that his predictions are based on judicial astrology, however many astrologists felt he was incompetent to assume that planetary configurations could predict what would happen in the future. Nostradamus has rejected the title of prophet on many occasions. Based off of literary sources, it is doubtful that he used any particular methods other than contemplation, meditation and incubation for entering a trance state. However, legend has it he attempted using ancient methods of flame and water gazing. Many of Nostradamus' predictions deal with often undated disasters in general or can specify a single person or town. While many try to discredit him, it is hard to not look over those predictions that came true. Here are the top 8 Nostradamus predictions. Death of Henry II. Prediction: the young lion will overcome the older one. On the field of combat in a single battle, he will pierce his eyes through a golden cage. 2 wounds made 1, then he dies a cruel death. Event: King Henry II, older one, of France lined up to joust. Field of combat, the Comte de Montgomery, young lion. Both had lion emblems on their shields. On their final pass, Montgomery's lance burst through the king's visor with 2 shards. 2 wounds made 1 through the eye, pierce his eyes through a golden cage, and 1 through the temple. King Henry II suffered for 10 days before dying in his bed, then he dies a cruel death. The Great Fire of London. Prediction: the blood of the just will be demanded of London. Burnt by fire in the year 66. The ancient lady will fall from her high place, and many of the same sect will be killed. Event: a small fire that started in a bakery in London September 2, 1666, in the year 66, resulted in a 3-day blaze that consumed the city, burnt by fire. The blood of the just could refer to the millions of rats that were killed. French Revolution. Prediction: from the enslaved populace, songs, chants and demands, while princes and lords are held captive in prisons. These will in the future by headless idiots be received as divine prayers. Event: the peasants, enslaved populace, took control of Paris after they had enough of poor aristocratic rule. The aristocracy, princes and lords, were taken from power and locked in the Bastille, prisons, and beheaded at the guillotine, headless idiots. 4. Hitler. Predictions: from the depths of the west of Europe, a young child will be born of poor people. He who by his tongue will seduce a great troop. His fame will increase towards the realm of the east. Beasts ferocious with hunger will cross the rivers. The greater part of the battlefield will be against Hister. Into a cage of iron will the Great One be drawn. When the child of Germany observes nothing. Event: Hitler was born on April 20, 1889 in Western Europe to very poor parents. From the depths of the west of Europe, a young child will be born of poor people. In the years after World War I, Hitler moved to Germany and rose as a leader through his over-the-top oratory skills, who by his tongue will seduce a great troop. Hitler drew an Axis alliance with Japan. His fame will increase toward the realm of the east. Then the German army invaded France. Beasts ferocious with hunger will cross the rivers, and defeated by the Allied powers, the greater part of the battlefield will be against Hister. The atomic bomb. Prediction: near the gates and within 2 cities, there will be scourges the like of which was never seen. Famine within plague, people put out by steel, crying to the great immortal God for relief. Event: in 1945, the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, within 2 cities. Many endured the blast and suffered with radiation poisoning, crying to the great immortal God for relief. JFK and RFK assassinations. Prediction: the great man will be struck down in the day by a thunderbolt. An evil deed foretold by the bearer of a petition. According to the prediction, another falls at night time. Conflict at Reims, long and a pestilence in Tuscany. Event. John F. Kennedy, the great man, received numerous death threats, an evil deed foretold by the bearer of a petition, and was gunned down in the afternoon of November 22, 1963, struck down in the day by a thunderbolt. Then Bobby Kennedy was killed just after midnight on June 5, 1968, another falls at night time. September 11, 2001. Prediction. Earth-shaking fire from the center of the Earth will cause tremors around a new city. Two great rocks will war for a long time. Then Arethusa will redden a new river. Event. On September 11, 2001, the two towers, two great rocks, of the World Trade Center were attacked in New York City, New City. A future earthquake? Prediction. The sloping park, great calamity. Through the lands of the West and Lombardy. The fire in the ship, plague and captivity. Mercury in Sagittarius, Saturn fading. Event. Unknown. A great earthquake, sloping park, great calamity, is reputedly foretold at his predictions. Through the lands of the West could mean California in the New World. Has this quake yet to be seen?